Standing room only at a school board meeting in Hamburg tonight as teachers and parents are protesting cuts to staff and programs.
If you're a home buyer, somebody or a young person looking to buy a home, you need a bit of a reset.
There is a possibility on the other side of this that inflation could actually be quite low.
Unhinged unemployment is one of the biggest death blows that can be dealt to the housing market. The reason that is around 70% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck. Not receiving just one paycheck could absolutely wreck financially over millions and millions of Americans around the nation. And right now, you guys, the unemployment rate is only 3.9%. But the trajectory of unemployment and the trajectory of layoffs, when we look at February, is at 2009 levels. So again, I say, one of the biggest factors of the housing market reset will be unhinged unemployment. And today we're going to see exactly what's going on with unhinged layoffs. And don't forget, you guys, this is going to be absolutely bonkers. And if you can, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, shoot me a comment below. And honestly, guys, let me know what you're going through as far as layoffs. Let me know if you know anyone that got laid off that can't find another job. One of the things I've been telling you guys that's a huge difference of this labor market versus the GFC, other than the way they're calculating unemployment, which is different, by the way, is we have a hot part-time job market right now. So a lot of people, not all, but some people that have had layoffs are just getting another job, part-time job, 2 or 3 even part-time jobs. So I really want to hear from you. And don't forget to read the comment section. There's some absolute fire and great insights in the comment section. But either way, you guys, I hope you enjoy this video. And I'm going to dig into multiple data sets and articles. But before I do, big shout out to Jason Walters for helping me with the editing. You guys, I'm just a normal person. I'm making so many videos. I'm also a realtor, a loan officer, CE instructor. So my hands are full, and I'm a father. I'm a husband. So Jason Walter, big shout out to you. If you guys need any help with editing, hit up Jason Walter on YouTube. The man is an absolute gentleman and his editor is great, but enjoy. So the first thing I want to point out is unemployment finally has gone up. Again, unemployment has finally gone up to 3.9%. This is the highest it's been through the quantitative tightening. And remember, we've been doing quantitative tightening for about 2 years. We started quantitative tightening at 3.6% unemployment. So it's taken 2 years, you guys, to go from 3.6 to 3.9%. Now, this is the highest unemployment rate. If we look at the 5-year chart right here, this is the highest unemployment rate since January of 2022. So the crazy thing, you guys, is once we've started quantitative tightening, the labor market and unemployment rate got even stronger. Probably has nothing to do with data manipulation, right, guys? Has nothing to do with data manipulation. But I also think what's important is understanding that they have changed the way that unemployment is calculated. A lot of people have said if they use the same way of calculating unemployment that they did back in the 70s and 80s, that our unemployment rate could be 5, 6, or even 7%. So again, they're changing the way it's calculated, but regardless, the part-time job market's hot. Now, what's happening, you guys, is all of the quantitative tightening and the lag effects of the last 2 years of these higher interest rates and of this quantitative tightening is finally starting to catch up. But the problem is, guys, is it's starting to massively hurt and impact our community. It's not just layoffs now with tech jobs. Layoffs are exploding now when it comes to teachers and education. Now, on top of the layoffs for teachers, understand as well that a lot of these teachers can't even afford to live in the metro areas that they're teaching at as a result of the housing market. So they can't even afford to live where they're teaching. It's an absolute American tragedy. And I believe something needs to be done because education is vital. Now, before we dig into the teacher layoffs, understand the trajectory of the layoffs right now are exploding. Probably the main reason that is the severance is starting to fizzle out, just like we've been talking about. But layoffs rise to the highest level for any February since 2009. Again, the trajectory of layoffs, that trajectory is the highest it's been since the great financial crisis that is going on right now. Layoff announcements in February hit their highest level for the month since 2009. With a series of high-profile layoff waves, Tech leads the way this year in cuts with 28,218, though that number has fallen 55% from the same period a year ago. Now, I just want to read a few paragraphs and then we'll move on. From a historical perspective, this was the worst February since 2009, which saw 186,000 announcements as the worst of the financial crisis was seemingly coming to the end. Financial markets bottomed the following month, paving the way for the longest economic expansion on record, lasting until the COVID pandemic in March of 2020. But the thing is, guys, is the expansion kept going because of the deficit spending and the money printing. That didn't stop. It just got worse. For the year, companies have listed 166,000 cuts, a decrease of 7.6% from a year ago. Now, this is what they're saying. As we navigate the start of 2024, we're witnessing a persistent wave of layoffs. Businesses are aggressively slashing costs and embracing technological innovations, actions that are significantly reshaping staffing needs. And we don't even see the AI layoffs in the numbers because remember, you guys, severance. And this is not just hitting AI. And remember, this is not just hitting tech companies. This is hitting almost every company, and it's hitting the heart of our education system, our children's, our kids' educational system. Take a listen to this video.
Everyone, it was standing room only at a school board meeting in Hamburg tonight as teachers and parents are protesting cuts to staff and programs.
Our Dylan Morello heard from teachers and the district about this emotionally charged meeting. He tells us how the superintendent responded.
Today's Board of Education meeting at Armour Elementary was, as you can see, packed with hundreds of students, parents, and members of Hamburg School Teacher Union, all of which have been distraught the last couple of days following what is upwards of 15 layoffs. Today's board meeting allowing school superintendent Michael Cornell to answer and address those issues.
There was an overestimating of our revenues and an underestimating of our expenses. So once we dug into that and understood it, we started to work really hard to make sure that we reversed that trend. So where we are today is a result of that.
The district says the federal COVID relief and the district's cash reserves were previously used to support staffing. That money has since dried up, leading to 16 teachers and aides to be let go.
These layoffs will significantly decrease the quality of my and my peers' education, and I will not stand for that.
Cornell also confirmed the district will not fill the positions of 7 teachers who will be retiring this year. That's 23 empty positions that current teachers and parents feel will impact programs.
So the quantitative tightening, what the Fed has been doing over the last 3 to 4 years, is affecting our children. Well, I'll argue that the lockdowns also affected it, but this is a very, very bad thing because what you're seeing is you're seeing the end of basically propping things up, these government stimulus programs. A lot of it was done through COVID. And so now these companies, you guys, including the school districts, are starting to realize that they have actually overestimated their revenue and underestimated their expenses. And that's exactly what we see going on around the nation. But we're starting to see that eat away now and erode at our school districts. And again, you guys, the additional problem with this, it's not just that, but the additional problems with that teachers specifically are facing right now, they can't even live in the areas that they're teaching because they can't afford it. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And again, you guys, we're doing so many things that I believe are horrible ways to spend tax dollars and money. Why do we have a homeless problem? Why do we have an education problem? Why do we have all these issues that we could fix? I don't understand it, you guys. This is absolutely insane. And again, this is going on around the nation.
Yeah, some tough decisions being made here in Anaheim. The superintendent said they already made cuts last year, but say right now it's just not sustainable with the budget. By 2025, 2026, they will be in a major deficit if they don't lay off more than 100 teachers right now.
And I want to remind you guys that Anaheim is one of the leading metro areas of price growth. According to Redfin, Anaheim has been the #1 price growth metro in the nation, and yet they can't even educate their children.
During COVID, they had a one-time federal aid and state aid, which allowed them to keep all of their teachers here in Anaheim, while other districts had to lay off teachers. With that funding ending and the loss in revenue, they've had to make cuts. With the cost of living increasing here in Anaheim, families can't afford to live in the district, so they're projecting a major drop in enrollment, which means a loss in funds. Several teachers, parents, and students spoke at the board meeting begging for alternative ways to keep all these teachers, but the board said it's just not sustainable, especially with the loss of more than 3,000 students already.
With one-time funds, we have maintained the same number of teachers in 2023-24 that we had in 2017-18, despite a nearly 3,500 decrease in enrollment. Put another way, the district has lost the equivalent of a high school and a junior high school worth of students during this time frame.
They lost 3,000 students. 3,000 students because even the students couldn't live in the areas that they were accustomed to going to school. You guys, teachers right now are getting absolutely slaughtered, and it's the end of that aid. This is something that we're going to want to pay close attention to. And if you have a child that goes to school and their teacher does a good job, I want to challenge you to get them something. Make them feel good about what they're doing, because the reality is, you guys, we need great teachers, and great teachers don't get paid enough money to live. Now let's get an update of the additional layoffs that are going on, predominantly in tech companies. You guys, this is absolutely bonkers. Take a look. So we're going to start by reading this report by CoStar. Now, more layoffs coming, you guys. This time it's from Warner Brothers Discovery Division in Austin, Texas, announcing layoffs and office closures. Another 100 jobs gone in the tech industry. Now, when we go here, you guys, we can see in addition to that, IBM layoffs hit marketing communication staffs as AI charge continues. So the AI, we haven't even felt and seen in the unemployment numbers what's going on with AI. We just hear headlines and we know that it's coming. But remember, you guys, because of the severance, we can't see it in the numbers. Now, IBM is reportedly laying off employees in its communications and marketing division as the company looks towards AI to replace non-customer facing roles. This is crazy. Last year, the CEO said he planned to suspend or slow hiring for about 26,000 non-customer facing back office roles, which amounted to roughly 10% of the total workforce. But he goes on to say, you guys, and this is crazy. Look at how easily he's saying this. I mean, they have employees that are reading this. He said they could easily see 30% of those roles, roughly 80,000 employees, replaced by AI and automation over the next 5 years. You guys, there's a lot of headwinds right now in the labor market. Now, again, the part-time job market is hot, but the full-time job market is absolutely getting destroyed right now. Now, take a look at this article, you guys, from CRN. This just came out when I was recording this. This is the tech company layoffs in 2024. So this is the Q1 layoffs so far. So let's take a look at a few companies and what's going on with them. So we could see here that Orca Security is also laying off, you guys. They lay off 60 people. That's about 50% of their company. That's for a total of 60 employees. I'll show you guys the once popular Xerox. Xerox is also laying off people. Again, this is this year, you guys. The company plans to lay off 15% of its workforce this quarter, which is 20,700 employees, as you can see here, as of June 2033. So a lot of companies, big companies, they're starting these layoffs. These waves are going to come and hit us hard. Cloud Software Group lays off 12% of its employees as well. In early January, they laid off 12% of the employees, worldwide workforce for about 1,000 people. That's insane. And then we also have Google. I mean, it's not like we don't know this is happening, right? It's just slower than a lot of us have figured. But you guys, Google in mid-January confirmed it is cutting a few hundred employee roles in each division inside its Google Assist software businesses in part of its restructuring process. But not only Google, also Amazon did additional layoffs this year. Amazon in mid-January revealed plans to lay off a whopping 35% of its workforce on Twitch. Massive layoffs from Amazon. Okay, we also have Salesforce as well. Salesforce reported to lay off 700 employees, or about 1% of its headcount. Now, this is a San Francisco-based consumer relationship management company. Here's SAP. Now, SAP is looking for voluntary layoffs. That's crazy. People are begging, these companies are begging their employees to leave. That's crazy. I've seen some companies place very discouraging signs in front of their offices so that when employees have to come back to work from work at home, they get discouraged with signs that say, "Oh, do you miss your pet?" Like, "Oh, welcome back to work. Ha 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 ha." They want people to quit. This is insane. Also, Zoom, you guys, Zoom lays off 50. So Zoom Communications in early February cut about 150 additional employees, according to a Bloomberg report. So, I mean, a lot of household names are doing layoffs, you guys. A lot of them, a lot of people. DocuSign as well. I mean, DocuSign plans 6% workforce cut. They're really big in the real estate industry. I mean, the real estate industry is getting destroyed. That's not in here, by the way. But realtors, loan officer, title companies are melting down. Now, also, you guys, this is insane. Cisco plans a 5% workforce cut. Now, the CEO said this in mid-February, basically telling investors during the company's fiscal second quarter 2024 financial report that the company would be cutting jobs globally to adjust expenses and investments to reflect the current macro environment. And that's the thing with the lag effects and the quantitative tightening. Now, remember what we're coming out of. We're coming out of massive government stimulus. And in fact, right now, the deficit government spending right now exceeds the GFC, and we're not even in recession. In 2008, the government deficit was under $500 billion. In 2023, it was $1.7 trillion. So in other words, we have a situation right now to where the Fed is fighting the Treasury. And as a result of that, we're all paying the price, and we're going to be stuck in this situation of higher for longer as the Federal Reserve continues to suck the money out of the economy. And I may add, fight the Treasury again at our expense. And so the question is what do you do? Right? What do you do with all this information? Well, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you what I'm going to do and what I have been doing. I'm rebudgeting. Okay. I'm planning for the worst. What's the worst? Losing my job. In fact, I've already lost my job. Thank God I planned for the worst because I no longer make a W-2 income. I walked away from that last year, and then about a month and a half later, the company went out of business. So good thing I was planning ahead. But you guys, I'm saying plan ahead. And one of the best ways to do that is spend less, make more. How do you spend less and how do you make more? Well, a big way to do that is rebudget. I can guarantee you that's listening, you're spending too much money on subscriptions and going out to eat. You are doing that. If you rebudget just those two things alone, I can almost guarantee you're going to save a ton of money. And in fact, it's going to be a wake-up call to, wow, I've been spending my money recklessly. So what I'm saying is you want to get ahead of this. Most people will never plan for unemployment. And again, remember, if a household, most households, 70%, if they don't get just one income payment, it could be a domino effect into financial ruin. So you got to plan ahead. Save your money, guys, while we still have money to save. Now, other than that, if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys already know I wish you luck and I hope you win.